Welcome, my name is Margaret. I'm a historical costumer and textile conservator in training, and today we are going to look at another one of my study collection pieces. I will have a full playlist linked up below and down below if you want to watch more of these study collection tours. So this piece we have today is very special. She is one of my oldest pieces in the collection. This is a early 1820s printed day dress. Now, I did find this on eBay, weirdly enough. This was a really lucky eBay find, and it also didn't go for as much as I thought it would, so I was able to get it for what I consider to be a steal. So this is an absolutely beautiful piece that is almost 200 years old, 200-ish years old. She is one of only two pieces in my collection that are from the 1820s. So this dress, as I said, is a printed cotton day dress. Printed cottons were very, very popular in the early 19th century as printing technology was becoming a lot better. This dress is probably American, potentially European, but most likely American, as I did get it from an American dealer. It is high-waisted, empire waist, and also is a bib front closure, a kind of awkward bib front closure, and it would have probably been closed with straight pins as there are no findings on it. So we're just going to start from the top and work downwards. So here we have the bodice, which just opens at the center front, and then the skirt comes down. There are pocket slits in the side, and then there is a belt that also wraps around the front. So I think how this would have closed, it would have closed in the front and been pinned. The apron front would have been gathered up, and then the belt would have been put over and pinned in place, which is like a lot. You can sort of see the pinholes throughout the edges that would have been on here. Potentially some threads from some hook and eyes as well, but mostly pinholes it looks like. So that's very interesting. It is lined with this medium weight linen, totally hand sewn with this sort of coarse thread, and then just whip stitched down to the lining. The dress does have darning at both of sort of the front shoulder edge here. So there isn't a ton of underarm soiling, but there is beautiful piecing on the underarm of the sleeve. It's kind of a regular medium neckline and these beautiful full sleeves. So in this sleeve there's a ton of sun damage. My guess is what happened, this was stored hanging for a long time, and so light got onto this portion and then also a little bit of the skirt as well, which caused that dramatic fading. So if you are storing your costumes hanging, I do suggest that you put a sort of cotton sheet covering over them so that they aren't getting that light damage, because it can be very destructive to a costume. It not only fades color, but it can also degrade the fiber as well. So I kind of described how this was put together, although I do think that part of the waistline has been detached over the years. I don't necessarily know why, because this edge is sort of unfinished. So I'm guessing there was a situation where this may have been gathered in and finished or something. Not quite sure how that would have been put together, but I'm certain that it would not have been just hanging like that with the raw edges. The skirt is just tipped on and sewn with whip stitches in the 18th century method to the gathered skirt in the back. And the front panel of the skirt does have its original gathering cord in it that probably would have been used to gather the skirt up in front as well. The sleeves, as I said, have that beautiful poof to them, and then they come down into a sort of narrower opening. And the sleeve is just hemmed with just turned up and hemmed, the same fabric, nothing super special to bang on about. The skirt is very nice and full. Gorgeous, nice full skirt. As you can see, sun damage on the bottom as well. And there is a lot of evidence of this hem being taken up and down quite a bit. So this was a daily work dress. This would have been super special. This is daily wear. And you can tell that it was probably worn by several different people at several different times, as there are a lot of different hem creases, a lot of different stitch lines on this hem. And my guess was, it's taken up and down when it was needed to be. There are 2 holes in the hem, so it's very possible that when there was damage, they just hemmed it up a little bit more and called it a day. I just absolutely love this print. I'm not sure how to classify it. There's like these weaving together wheat strands with these sort of almost mitochondrial looking scarves flapping in the wind with these dotted lines. It is this gorgeous dark purple color. This would be a natural dye, not an aniline dye, because it is of an earlier period. We can see on the back here, just has that typical one-piece Regency back. I believe it also has a side back piece and then the front with the sort of deep shoulder seam. Very, very Regency. That's a very standard Regency cut. And then the belt is tacked on in the back here. And then the skirt is gathered in like this. This is actually a very, very simply constructed piece. One-piece work dress from the 1820s. This does have sort of hallmarks of late 18th century dressing though, with it potentially being closed by pins and also having pocket slits. You could have worn detached pockets with this dress, which is really awesome. If you haven't seen it, I'll put it up in the cards here and down below. I did do a whole video on the history of pockets and pocket myths, and one of those pocket myths is that when the French Revolution struck and neoclassicism came into dress with these long columnar sort of situations, that the tie-on pocket just completely disappeared, which is not true. Hung around for many, many years. There's actually a example in the Metropolitan Museum of Art of a tie-on pocket being made by Liberty & Company as late as 1911. So those things stuck around for a very, very long time, and it's evident in this dress that still has those pocket slits that could have been easily accessed by the sides. It also has hallmarks of Regency dressing, although we are getting into that more romantic phase. The bodice is cut very Regency-like with that back set and shoulder, the one-piece back, but the sleeves are definitely hearkening to that more romantic era with the big poof. This is definitely not the biggest of the poofs, but it's getting there. I am so glad to have this piece in my collection. It really is something that I've been searching for, are these earlier pieces. I'm sort of getting burnt out on Edwardian and late Victorian because that's everywhere on the market. I will pick up a piece if it's really, really special, obviously, but I am moving into these earlier styles. So I'm super excited to have this dress. Unfortunately, this dress is too small for my mannequin. She is a bit of a skinny mini. She has about a 32-inch bust and a 24-inch waist, which means she's about a US size 2. Thank you so much for coming along and seeing this dress with me. You can follow me here on YouTube. Just hit the subscribe button down below. I have some exciting projects coming up. You can also follow me over on TikTok at Costume and Conservation and on Instagram at Costume and Conservation, where I post more regularly. Otherwise, I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye!